Starting off with Databricks Basics. So, what is Databricks? It's a cloud platform built on top of Apache Spark, and it's used for ETL processes like extract, like the full form is extract, transform, load, data engineering, machine learning, data warehousing, analytics, etc. So, think of it like this: we have raw data, we send it through Databricks, and some internal Spark processing happens, which creates a data lake, and then we get our BI ML reports, that is business intelligence or machine learning reports. Now, what are components? So, of the Databricks platform, we have the workspace where developers write notebooks where they basically write code. It supports four languages: Python, SQL, Scala, and R. Cluster, now that's a collection of machines that execute Spark code. So, we basically have a notebook in which we have clusters, and in that we run the Spark code on the data. So, notebook is an interactive coding environment, and for example, print hello Databricks is where is what you write in a notebook. DBFS is basically Databricks file system that stores files. Then we have Unity Catalog, that is a central place to manage tables, permissions, metadata, etc. Then what is Delta Lake? It adds asset transactions, version history, and faster queries. Don't worry, we'll be covering every single thing in detail in the later upcoming videos. So I'll go through all of these things in total depth. Now, Python basics needed. Basically, we don't need advanced Python. We basically need to know what are variables, lists, dictionaries, functions, loops, if-else statements, exception handling. And now what are modules? So a module is simply another Python file containing reusable code. We have different types of modules like math, OS, date time, random, JSON, pandas, right? So we basically import that module, import math, and use the function, inbuilt function from those modules. So math dot square root of 25, or we use directly from math import square root. For OS, we import OS and get CWD. What is CWD? That means current working directory, and you paste the link here. Then datetime, from datetime import datetime.now, that gives the time and the date. And then we have JSON, which basically is used for loading data and in the JSON format. Apache Spark Basics. So Spark processes huge amounts of data in parallel. So instead of CSV to Python to memory, Spark does CSV to cluster and then processes them parallelly. SparkSession, every Spark application starts here. So we have this syntax from PySpark.sql import SparkSession. Spark is equal to SparkSession.builder.appNameDemo.get or create. Don't worry, we'll be covering all the syntaxes in depth as well. So we'll be going through it all. Now, reading data, we have CSV. We read from CSV files. So employees.csv is the CSV file. Then we have JSON, Parquet, Delta. These are basically the basic formats. And I'm going to take you to the question that I've asked here. That is, these are some questions that are mostly frequently asked. So I will be going over all these questions in depth one by one. So we basically have different modules, and I'll be covering all these modules in the upcoming videos, and I'll make a playlist of it. Right. So we will start with data engineering fundamentals. So what is first? We'll understand what is data. Data is basically raw facts or observations that have not yet been processed into meaningful information. For example, it's John, 25, Delhi, 50,000 rupees, and the date 10th of July 2026. So individually, these don't tell us much, but together, when we combine them, we have John, of age 25, living in Delhi with a salary of 50,000 rupees as of 10 July 2026. Now we have information. So it has now been converted into meaningful data. So now a real life analogy: imagine you're a doctor and a patient's measures are temperature, pulse, and blood pressure as given. So these numbers alone, standing alone, are data. Now when you conclude that the patient has fever, that becomes information, right?